Deep Agile Backlogs video, and we are talking deep, D-E-E-P, and it's easy to go around the internet and think a lot of people are using Deep Agile Backlogs, but actually you'll find things on Google, but the reality is it seems to be 9 out of 10 people I talk to don't know about Deep Agile Backlogs. So that looks like a mirror ball and some strobe lights. And, yep, D-E-E-P. I could look at this all day. It's amazing what you can do with 2 slides and Adobe Premiere Elements. It's a D, detailed appropriately. It's E, estimated. It's E, emergent, and P, prioritized. That's not really working, is it? So yeah, D, detailed appropriately, E, estimated, E, emergent, and P, prioritized. We'll go through those in detail now. So when you see a normal backlog, it's usually like a long list of things to do on the left-hand side of a Kanban board, or a long list in the Jira to-do section. And it's better to have a good pattern going. It can be done well, and I find using an iceberg helps. So with an iceberg, the famous thing is 10% is above the water and 90% is below. In this instance, the 10% above means it's ready for development, and there are the happy development team, where you can take items off the top of the backlog and give them to them in a sprint planning or in a Kanban, pick them off the top fashion, self-selected. So there's the product owner, and they'll be ably assisted sometimes by BA, user research, or architect, and they're looking at grooming the backlog and taking care of it. But in this analogy, they're not really above the waterline. They spend most of their time probably below the waterline, ideally most of the time talking to stakeholders, etc. But when they do come to looking at the backlog, they do a lot of the work below the waterline. So the product owner will have a vision, and that vision, you can't just slap it on the development team. Oh no, this isn't waterfall. We'll cut it up into smaller and smaller pieces, and this is where you start to see the backlog iceberg analogy developing. So it's got to fit into this iceberg, and really you need to have the 10% that's ready for development well detailed, and anything below that doesn't have to be as well detailed. I'm going to make a bigger iceberg here, so bear with me a second. Express myself a little bit better. So there's the waterline again. The iceberg's still bobbing with only 10% above the waterline. And can you guess what it is yet? That's a little polar bear and a penguin locked in a perennial battle of struggle. Hunter and hunted. Not a good analogy for your average business, so don't take that one away. So back on the backlog, you detail it just appropriately. So you don't spend a lot of detailing any big items at the bottom of the iceberg, because that's going to spend too much of your effort. So you just focus on detailing heavily as you go up the iceberg. You might occasionally send a tech lead down with some scuba kit, and tech lead will estimate these like a small, medium, large, just t-shirt sizing type of estimation, not your detailed hourly estimation or anything like that, or story pointing that you do in sprint planning. So the rough estimations going in, and equally the product owner should be estimating the business value. So dollar, super valuable, single dollar, big dollars, little dollars, wherever you want to do it. Just a rough, again, t-shirt sort of dollar estimation, or pound, or euro, or yen, or whatever it is you're using. Don't use cryptocurrencies. Or maybe you do. Okay, so estimated. Yeah, it's estimated. With the estimations, obviously, things become no-brainers. A double dollar thing needs to get done before a single dollar thing. And the slow effort gets done before the high effort. So yeah, you triage things on that basis. And the prioritization flows from that estimation. And again, I'm not advocating detailed estimates here, just this high-level stuff. I'll do a video on that sometime. And then the other thing is it's emergent. So, you have to have this ability, if you're genuinely going to be agile, to be able to swap things in and out of this iceberg. And it's there for that reason. So you got a great idea, you just slap it on, a great lovely picture, you slap that on, just a single tagline title, just slap that on. But it's got to be at the bottom of the backlog. as where you furnish that idea out and add detail to it and cut it up into small enough pieces that the development team can ingest it and interface with you, that's when it gets done. And as you see here, the flow of work starts peeling off the top of the backlog and goes into the efficient machine that is your development team doing the work. And yeah, so that's the detailing, the estimation, the emergence, and the prioritization of the backlog. It's a great way to mentally think of your backlogs. You don't have to, create a Iceberg software. Even though I did that for a Jira extension back in Jira 4 days when I was at the BBC. So here's some pseudoscience stroke real science, and it's by Daniel Kahneman, Nobel Prize laureate winning dude. And he came up with the availability bias, and it's effectively part of the fast and slow systems thinking that he also concocted or discovered about how our brains work. And when you've got a small amount of things in your forebrain, you can operate nice, quickly, and efficiently. And obviously, when the amount increases, it's going to slow down. So you want to reduce your cognitive load, and the backlog helps do that with the only taking into mind what's above the waterline. You overdo it, you become pretty sad. And you're not going to have a smiley face, and if it gets really bad, you might start bleeding from your ears. So that's the availability bias by Daniel Kahneman. And one of the little quick tests he did on this was he said, in the English language, how many letters do you know begin with the letter K, and how many letters do you know beginning third letter K? So have a quick think yourself. And most people opt that they can actually discover, and there'd definitely be more words with K as the first letter. The actual truth is, if you ask a dictionary, acknowledge the truth of the matter, that K as the third letter is 3 times more frequent in the English language than it is as the first letter. That's the availability in the forebrain. So it's just your quick thinking brain, what it can think of quickly, and being able to access that. And having an iceberg mentality and only focusing on what you need to focus on is going to help on those human biases and heuristics. So next time you see a backlog, have a think, is it a deep backlog? And that should help you on your way. Good luck. Buena suerte. Adios.